fame gone. Broken glass on the hotel floor. Gotta face my past before I end up in your arms. In your arms. I write my thoughts on an empty page, but no matter what I do, I still feel the same in your arms. In your arms. Yeah, for now I sat in a pile of glass, reminiscing about our past and how I was happy, yeah, then. Cause now my thoughts, they run away, and I need a safe place that used to be inside your arms. Nowadays it feels like you keep trying to run through me. That won't be my fate. What is life when the money and the fame gone? Broken glass on the hotel floor. Gotta face my past before I end up in your arms. In your arms. I write my thoughts on an empty page, but no matter what I do, I still feel the same in your arms. In your arms.
Yeah. If you saw me whipping, best believe I hit the dash. Speeding 101, yeah. Never ever crash, yeah. Lifestyle hella hectic, yeah. I've been moving fast, yeah. Rocket polo, yeah. Like I'm still in class, yeah. 8+ living, yeah. I see you in the back. Backstrokes on the way that I be doing laps. You sing the way that I be running tracks. Plugged in the way I keep myself intact. I don't got a lot to keep that shit 100. If we got a problem, we could really run it. We could really run it. I don't got a lot to keep that shit 100. If we got a problem, we could really run it. We could really run it. New city, new day, that's just how we run it. They're trying to throw shade like my windows tinted. You can't call my style like it's all vintage. See my swag, so it's authentic. EDM the way that I be that sick. If you got that gas, why you ask shit? Yeah, I got the juice just like a high C. Shout out to my past tense. Hella soft, hella tight just like my white tee. I be going hard, climbing mountains like I sightsee. LOL, homie, I don't ever catch no L's. All eyes on me like you been watching sci-fi. Everybody heard about it like a drive-by. Hating on me, yeah, it ain't hard to tell, yeah. I don't got the time to give another L, yeah. Straight money 2020, I ain't ever slowing down. All that petty shit, best believe it's going down. And I don't gotta lie just to keep that shit 100. And if we got a problem, best believe that we could run it. We could run it. I don't got a lot to keep that shit 100. If we got a problem, we could really run it. We could really I don't got a lot to keep that shit 100. If we got a problem, we could really run it. We could really run it. If you're acting up, you should fall in line. I don't got the patience, I don't got the time. If you're acting up, you should fall in line. I don't got the patience, I don't got the time. Why you always stunting? You should fall in line. Why you always stunting? I ain't got the time. Why you always fronting? You should
Can you hear me now? Is that better? Drafkings. Was I really muted? Is this working? I hope it is. Let me know if you're still watching, Eric, if you can hear me now. Alright. Well, you never. That was a mistake. But yeah, so all that time I was talking to myself. God. Well, I just pretty much explained my process for coming up with this lineup. for the first 5 minutes while I was muted. But basically, what I was saying was I love the Tua double with the Andrews. I mean, I think obviously a lot of people are on that. That's no, unique thing to me. I was actually a little nervous because we haven't really seen Tua. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Well, thanks for congratulating me on the win. But yeah, I basically what I was saying was, so like the Tua double with the Andrews bring back wasn't unique overall. I mean, it was lower owned, but a lot of like the people in the space were on it. I was actually a little nervous, is what I was saying. With we haven't seen Tua support two guys to this extent before, really, and I like Tua, but we just hadn't seen it. So I was actually the whole week, or not the whole week, but a couple days before, I had just a Tua single to Tyreek with Andrews. And obviously I've loved Amon-Ra. He came in pretty owned in this tournament, but I knew I wanted to play him, and I liked the Curtis Samuel bring back. He was another one I wasn't sure on the role. I was afraid I was going to be kind of like the fish play of, the guy who went off week 1 in your chasing, but I just knew I wanted to get pieces. How many lineups did I play? Yeah, so this was the 3 max, and then I played 2 other single entries, $50 single entry and a $27 single entry. So I played 5 total tournament lineups and then my 1 cash lineup. But yeah, so what I was saying was I knew I wanted to get on this game. And obviously there's luck involved in winning these things. Like, I'm building 5 lineups, and I knew I liked this many. And the fact that it fit in so nicely into this lineup. I like Jeff Wilson. Gary Hartman on ETR was talking about him a lot as a great GPP play, and he was. I mean, anytime the San Francisco backfield he could have had a much better game. So could have Jacobs. Jacobs was the grid pivot off of the Arizona Las Vegas chalk. This was my only Tua double, actually. So I had 5 tournament teams, and this was the one Tua double. Some of my other lineups are crap, honestly. Not crap. Like, I min cashed the $50 single entry red zone. Yeah, with the Andrews bringback. Yeah, I knew I wanted this in one lineup. And then I liked the Jacobs play to get, like I said, to pivot off that. He could have had a much better day. They got the 1-yard touchdown to Devontae Adams. And I think they were at the 1. I know they were at least like inside the 10 again in the first half. And he didn't get any of those carries as well. But I really liked him as a pivot off that chalk, as well as Jeff Wilson. And then, of course, I played Saints D. Honestly, they could have had a better game. The Tampa Bay offense wasn't great, but they just didn't get that turnover. But obviously, we weren't playing Bengals. But yeah, it was a good hit. That was kind of. I've liked playing some of the 5K running backs more than paying up. I just feel like the receivers just have such a higher ceiling. That if you can get, like, this could have easily from Jacobs been a 25-point game. I really feel like he kind of ran bad to only score 9. I mean, he definitely ran bad. Like I said, those goal line touches, and then only to have 1 catch in that game. Jeff Wilson, too. They were inside the 10 a couple times, and he either didn't get the carries. But yeah, this was the team. That was kind of the process on that one. But I wanted to go into Underdog 2. I finished 6th in the week 2. The main slate Battle Royale. Kind of want to look at that one too. I was sitting up in 2nd, but I was out of players in the afternoon. But I loved Nick Chubb last week, obviously against the Jets. He's really the only running back in fantasy that's really popping. But again, another Tua double with Andrews. Which was crazy because like every single one of these, I think these were all Lamar teams that won. Cup Waddle, man, those receivers. That is an awesome team. I might be the only one with Tua up here. These are like all Lamar teams. Oh, no, there's Tua. Never mind. I guess I didn't look close enough. But yeah, the Battle Royales are so fun. I don't know if you guys are doing any of them. You would have never played Wilson or Jacobs. Tua double again. Yeah, I mean, I think... Yeah, Jacobs and Wilson... Again, like I said, this Arizona-Las Vegas, I mean, you had the Dortch chalk. Adams was going to be super owned. Carr, of course, was going to be owned. And, like, what if Jacobs would have got the 2 touchdowns? Now, again, he didn't pay it off. I loved Hill and Waddle, but never double-stacked them. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was legitimately, nervous about double-stacking Tua. Like I said, I had the Tyreek's mini or single stack, the skinny stack, whatever. But then Sunday morning I switched to the double, and it worked out. But yeah, I want to get into some of these drafts here for week 3. Smart. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I mean, Jeff Wilson, anytime the San Francisco backfield, we know just scores fantasy points like every year, regardless of who it is. Talking about playing cheap running backs, though, I actually played Rex Burkhead on a tournament team as a bring back for my Russ to Sutton, thinking like, oh, if they get down, he catches like 6 or 7 balls when they're trying to come back. And then he was like 4,900. Oh no, I think the process was okay there. But didn't pay off, obviously. I think that Russ team was the one that min cashed, though. I had Higgins on that team. I liked him as a one-off last week. Luckily, though, it was a Russ to Sutton skinny stack. It didn't really get there. It just min cashed. But I'll take that. I'd rather min cash than not on a lineup. This week's going to be really interesting on DraftKings because we've got, as you can tell just looking here, I mean, we've got all the top quarterbacks on the main slate. That's what I kind of thinking, like, when I came into the week, I really like the Mariota stacks, and I'm probably going to do at least 1 or maybe 2 Mariota against the Seahawks with either Pitts. Pitts is 4,800 on DraftKings. Like, I'm just going to keep losing money on Pitts until I don't know. I would probably just do it the rest of his career. Oh, no, I don't want to set up here. I'll just go Diggs. Just crushing it. But yeah, y'all let me know if you guys have been getting into any of the, like, Battle Royale drafts. Waiting on QB in these drafts. Yeah, I kind of... It's weird. I think you definitely can. Because, like I said, I like the Mariota. I mean, you never know. Since he's such a weird team, like, you think they would just run it. But the Jets have been feisty, so they might have to throw a little bit. Waiting in QB drafts, yeah. I'm not taking Tua again this week against Buffalo. What do you guys think about Jonathan Taylor against Kansas City? Both on DraftKings and in these drafts. Because my initial take was, I'm good on not taking him when I can get A.J. Brown and all these guys. Can go down and get Eckler and Swift. And, a game script. I just did one. I like the Drafters Weekly. Yeah, I saw on the Spike Week, Eric Binefor, and they were doing some Drafters Weekly drafts with Nez and Numi. Yeah, we'll just take Kelsey. I think elite tight end is. I mean, the first 2 weeks of these Battle Royale drafts, the winning team, week 1 had obviously Kelsey, and this past week it was Andrews. I'm really not leaving drafts without one of Kelsey, Andrews, Waller. I'll definitely add in some Pitts. Burrow, Chase, Higgins, double. You drafted who? Jonathan Taylor? CMC's another person. I'm just Martin going. Let me look real quick. Each week I do a big spreadsheet on these things. I'm running out of time. I'm trying to see. Yeah, we're just going to do Mahomes. They're just taking a look at. Yeah, JT. Yeah, I can't tell. So I've heard a couple good points on him this week. Obviously, there's the worry. Colts get down big. You know, Nyheim Hines plays a lot against the Chiefs. And they just can't keep pace, and he has a bad game that way. But then you go back to last year, that game against the Bills, when we all thought that he was going to have a bad game. And none of us played him on DraftKings. And he just smashed. So there is that, back against the wall. Andrews. And it's at home for Indy as well. That back against the wall, and maybe, this is, hey, we got to do it now. If we don't win this game, we go to 0-2-1. Our season's done. And so there is that thought that they're going to come out and play really well this week. God, it's hard to look at a team and think they're going to do that after losing 24-0 to the Jags. I mean, that's just. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about, being motivated. I agree with you. I'm definitely not going to have 0. I've already picked him once. I've done probably 10 of these already. I think I've picked him once. So I'm definitely going to sprinkle him in. It's just hard. You get Mixon down here versus the Jets. I was really going to take McCaffrey there. Man, I like Eckler this week, obviously against the Jags. Swift. Receiver gets kind of thin, quick. If I take Eckler, probably not going to take him. I'm going to do Mike this time. Yeah, he can do that. Yeah. Yeah, I know Jonathan Taylor's been catching a lot more passes this year. And didn't he catch more balls than in week 1 too? Or at least have a lot more targets, something I remember. Yeah, I mean, he can catch balls, and he's doing it more. But I don't know. Yeah, I did. And if I thought that the Jags were definitely going to push him, I don't know how many people are going to take Eckler and Mike without Herbert. I like to think about those things in these drafts. It feels unique. I don't know. I'm going to do it, though, too. Because this is 10 picks after ADP, so probably less. Yeah, I did. So ETR their stuff's really good. And I've watched all their free stuff for a couple years now with Leone and Levitan, Silva, all the guys. And they're just having the projections in front of you when you're building lineups. And it's easy to say, obviously, I built a team that won first. So to say, oh yeah, it's definitely worth it. One, yes. Yeah. So it's easy to say, oh yeah, it's totally worth it. But it is good stuff. And I will say too, like the underrated thing. You think that's good for Eckler? Yeah. I'm definitely hoping he's not out with these two on one team. But I was saying the subscribers Discord you get access to for ETR, like people just all week long discussing cash, discussing tournaments, separate channels, and then like Wiggins pops in there, Leviton, all the guys, they do Q&As. They'll pop in and just talk in the chats. And really it helps you. It's been one of the most helpful things with subscribing. What they're going to pick here. So I'm definitely going to take Kirk because in this lineup, if Eckler and Mike are both going to get there in the same lineup, then the Chargers are going to have to get pushed by the Jags to get there. So I like that mini. That one feels good. Keep ripping them. I don't know how many of these I'm gonna do this week. I did 50. I did 50 drafts last week. And so I probably am gonna do. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more this week and focus just on this slate. I've done a few of the Thursday, Sunday combo ones. But I honestly don't. I don't know. For some reason, I don't like those as much. Like, a lot of people in the Spike Week Discord and the Battle Royale channel, they love those drafts with the two gamers. But I don't know. I feel like the talent just really falls off, and it's tough. And there's only 2 good quarterbacks for 4 teams. So obviously, you just have to decide what you're going to draft win. I don't know. They're not my favorite. I definitely don't go in being like, okay, I'm taking a certain player this draft. I definitely want to stack in pretty much every one of them. Definitely want to stack. And usually, I don't always bring it back. I mean, if like the obvious bringbacks are gone and like you have to go like it's good to go down the board to like, the people who are still like good plays, all these players like who aren't going in every draft. But I don't want to like miss out on a stack and be like, "Oh, I got to go all the way down here, and bring it back with someone I don't think's a good play just to have a bring back." All right, let's do it. Numi's in here as well. I'm really big in these, and I talked about this on my last time I streamed these, is combos. And, like, I get super nerd into it, and I keep up with my lineup, so I'll show it real quick as we go. So, like, these are all the teams that I've picked so far by quarterback. So, like, this is the team we just picked. And, like, when I'm doing these on my own and not streaming and stuff, like, I'll legitimately control F and say my first pick is Diggs. And then I'll immediately see the teams I pick Diggs on. And so when I say I'm big on the combos, I like to think, okay, I've got Diggs CMC twice. I've got Diggs Allen. Well, obviously I have Diggs Allen. But I've got if Herbert is the stack that goes off, which just doesn't even have a Charger on it. But it does have Kirk kind of mini, correlating. I'm on the clock. I've been taking Diggs a lot. And Miami's, I'm going to go with Chase this time. I just did a Diggs team. But yeah, so now I just picked Chase. So I can see which teams I already picked Chase on. So I've got Chase with Eckler, I've got him with Cup, got him with Adams, got him with AJ Brown, Kelsey. Like, I don't know. This just helps me think about not getting tied to like one build. Because I've done these in the past where I didn't do this, and I'll do a lot of teams, and I'll look back, and I've got like 3 or 4 of the same team because I just get comfortable just building that team with that stack, with that bring back, and things like that. And this is probably a little overkill. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, you gotta make a spreadsheet like this, but it just, I don't know, it just helps me. And I really like to get, those kind of, especially with like the first 2-round picks, to know like, okay, if these are the 2 guys that go off this week, I've got them on a couple of teams together. Just try and create as many of those different combinations of players that I can. And so when I was looking at the spreadsheet just a second ago, I saw that I have Chase Adams on a team right over here. So I'm going to make sure I build this Chase Adams different than that last Chase Adams team. So like the last Chase Adams team I did was a Kyler team. So I'm going to, I don't know what I want to do here actually. What do you think about Derrick Henry this week? You think he's finally going to have a good game? He might have a good game this week. I think he's definitely a better chance against the Raiders defense than he's had in his other match, especially this past time against the Bills. He's going to get the work if they stay in the game, which he should have a better chance of doing. Look at your team so far. I got to get more Amon-Ra. I've got to get used to seeing him in the second round. It's a great matchup again. And not that I don't think he deserves to go there. I definitely do. He's awesome. I like to think too, like, so I don't have Jefferson on this team, obviously, but I have the other 2 elite receivers. So if not dealing with the same, yeah. I just think too, like, the Titans' offensive line is so bad, and their whole offense in general now that they don't have, like, obviously AJ Brown, but the team just, I don't know. They're going to be big bad this year. But you never know. I mean, the fact that I've got Adams, like, I honestly don't get too into the player takes on when I'm building these teams. Like I said, we're martingelling Pitts forever. And I just want the chance at an elite tight end in these. I like that. I also wonder too if I'm wondering too much about the correlation in these, but I do think it's important. Stacking, bringbacks, the mini stacks, it's just like DFS. Battle Royals, Davis. For sure. I like this one. Do me do. Carver the Waller, I like it. I was wondering if you're going to go down to Mariota on that one or not. And I wish I could legally bet in Texas. That would be nice. But I'll take being able to still play fantasy. Gonna keep ripping these for a little bit while more. Would have won a K. Nice. In the 6. So you got in this one again, Eric. Let's see what I'm going to do in this one. Oh, yeah, I know, but it would have been a nice one. You almost took Mariota. Yeah, he's someone I came into the week thinking, like, when I first pulled up DraftKings and see the pricing, I was like, oh, it's Mariota in cash week against the Seahawks. And I am definitely playing him in tournaments. But it looks like, Jalen Hurts not getting priced up after Monday night. It looks like it's going to be Hurts, Diggs, maybe Juju at 5,500 in cash this week. But yeah, I don't know. I like Mariota this week. I think he's really played pretty well for it being Marcus Mariota. I think he's played well. Hey, you gotta go next. Maybe you'll hit this weekend. But yeah, Drake London looks like a stud as well. I'm hoping Pitts can eventually get some of that. Yeah, I'm just taking this again. Yeah. The Titans are so bad. So bad. Lawan going down too, like, it's just gonna make it worse. But watching the way the Raiders lost that game against the Cardinals, the game this weekend might actually be entertaining with the Titans and the Raiders. I'm definitely gonna get some of Monroe. My boy. I definitely want to get some of Monroe this week. I'm hoping I can get like the third pick and get like a Jefferson. Which Jefferson's gone 1 or 2 pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, even Burks made a few plays last night. Drake London, he's looking so good. I think we're gonna get a big Pitts game at some point though, especially with the. It's not really him being the squeaky wheel with getting the media questions asked. Go Swift on this team. Gonna do Mike Will this time. Let's see. What are you setting up here? AJP Kelsey. I like the Kelsey Taylor mini. And then AJ Brown's just a stud. I don't know on Herbert yet. I think it said he's day to day. I wonder if Underdog has a blurb. Okay, yeah, it still says day to day. That was 4 days ago, though. I mean, it was a Thursday night injury. So hopefully he gets back. I'm just this early. The good thing about Underdog is you get to swap. Obviously, you don't get to choose your swap. I mean, you can set the order. But at least your team isn't completely dead if you do get someone ruled out, which is good. But yeah, at this point in the week, I am just drafting like he's in. We'll see. Hopefully, too, if I can set it get Mariota plugged in for him. If I set that as like my top quarterback, because he didn't go in a lot of these. I honestly don't know how they determine. I assume they look and see who didn't go. But yeah, that's how I'm drafting right now. This person hasn't picked a wide receiver. Old. Yep. Again, I'm just going to keep picking pits. I like this one. Not any mini stacks or any bringbacks in it, but a lot of good players. Again, I don't always force the bringbacks and the minis, even though I like having them. I do like having them most of the time. Alright, who are you going with here? Mariota. Nice. Yeah, I mean, he's got a good matchup against the Seahawks. I'm going to do the single entry tournament. It's got 38 filled so far. I'm going to wait a couple or see how late I can push this one. Just to get the most amount of information since that is a single entry. Nope. Back in. Davis, are you jumping in any? Or you said you're not doing the Battle Royales, alright? Or you haven't jumped in a bunch of them? Yeah, honestly, you might be right in that. Mariota might be too cute on the slate, but we'll see. I mean, he's played pretty well. And the Falcons have been in these games. Especially, it's a lot softer matchup this week with the Seahawks. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not like building out my weekend around him, but I think he's a good play, especially with his price on DraftKings. But you do run into the thing, like, in GPPs, the quarterbacks, like the winning quarterbacks, I don't play anything like the Millie Maker, but if you look back at the winning quarterbacks of that, I think Gary Hartman posted an article on ETR recently, and it had like it's the studs. At the end of the day, it ends up being the studs are the ones you need. But when you get a mobile quarterback, yes, yeah, I mean it's a good matchup against Seattle. Like they had their one moment against Denver, Russ, all the emotions, but I mean I think we saw more so what they're probably gonna be. Now the Falcons aren't the 49ers, and all that, but Carson Wentz. Your boy Carson Wentz. Yeah, I mean, back to back 30-point weeks. Like, it looks like he might be the guy you need. That will, you know what? I will lose money on Carson Wentz this year, that's for sure. I just need B-Rob to come back and assume the starting role. Then I win all the monies. Man, Devontae should absolutely eat against Tennessee. That is a bad team with a really bad defense. Hey, it's paying off. My best teams, obviously, right now are my teams with Tua. 31%. 31% Carson Wentz. That's just bold to me, but hey, you're looking like the genius right now. I'm still got my guard up because they haven't played great defenses yet, So we'll see how long he can keep it up. But yeah, I mean, he looks good right now. Definitely looks good. But yeah, we'll see on Mariota. Well, what is a good return for late pick? Hey, you've already got that, so that is true. Like people, and I did it. Like overrating. Oh, you gotta find the late round stud when if you can get to the way you explained it to me. You have 48% Metcalf. Yeah, I don't think that was. I forgot about that. Yeah, Wentz. I mean, your Wentz exposure's already paid off, but yeah, the 48% Metcalf. Yeah, I'm mad at myself that I was like so out on the Bears, not drafting the Bears, and then I was listening. A couple people in the space kind of liked them a little bit, and I get like Justin Fields can still. I mean, God, he just looks so bad. The whole Bears offense. I knew he had no weapons, but I kind of got in like later on in draft season in best ball. I was like, oh, what if he does kind of make a leap? He can run. Oh yeah, I mean my biggest one, my highest exposed player on drafters, DJ Moore. Don't feel great about that. I'm just glad he got the touchdown this week, but I don't know. I was hoping that Baker would at least be better than what he had and could get him some better play, but it does not look like it. But yeah, I mean, I've like I said, I have tons of DJ Moore. Man, too soon, Davis. Too soon. Fields will outscore Lance. Yeah, they do have tons of Lance. But as you know, my exposure is tons of Lance for me is like 14% probably. I even looked at my Amon-Ra too after we talked earlier, and I was like, I really hope I do actually have I'm over the field Amon-Ra after I've hyped him as one of my guys. And I do have 14% Amon-Ra in my Puppy 3 150 set, so that's good. I think Mooney's a good football player. I think Komet's a good player, but I mean Komet doesn't have a catch, and Mooney's got what, like 2 catches? I mean the Bears are a disaster, and that's a team like I was not drafting them like at all, and then a couple people kind of liked them and everything. Yeah, I think Mooney's solid. Like he could be a good wide receiver too on a team. Like I do agree he's a good player, but the Bears are just putrid. A Burks final round. See, that's kind of a pick I don't usually do in these because I do like going down the board and I do like getting different, but I do think at some point you're just giving up too much projection. And I know I can't tell if you might have been joking on that or not. I mean, obviously it's a correlation, but and who knows? I mean, maybe Traylon Burks goes off, but just throw the ball. Yeah, the Bears do need to throw the ball. I don't know, like, did they just think Justin Fields is that bad? And so they can't trust him? Or are they just that incompetent as coaches to not throw the ball more? I don't know. I don't really. I'm probably just gonna do the Pittman Indy KC correlation. Or the bring back on that stack. Oh, you're very serious? Yeah, so that's something on these where I have, like, because there's just so many, like, good players that don't get drafted that I do like the bring back in it. And I'm not saying, like, oh, you can't do that, because you definitely could. But I am actually going to double stack Mahomes here. Because, see, like, I can still get Juju, and then there's, like, Marquise Brown doesn't go. Metcalf versus Atlanta could go off. Cooks, McLaurin, like, Devonta Smith's still here. There's just so many, like, guys who are here that I just wonder, like, going all the way down to a Burks. I mean, DJ Moore is all the way, not even going. James Conner, which, I mean, he's first the Rams and he's questionable. But I'm just saying, a caliber of his type of player. Like, I don't know. I just sometimes think that I do like stacking and correlating, but sometimes in these, there's just so many, like, good players here that aren't going to go in this draft. McLaurin, I know. So on my DraftKings team that won, like the whole week I've been trying to set up an Amon-Ra McLaurin mini stack, and I just couldn't find anything that fit. Luckily, I played Curtis Samuel instead, but I wanted to run McLaurin because he's always low owns. People just hate playing him. Lockett, yeah. I'm gonna have some of him. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think I will do, like I've said earlier, one tournament team at least that's a Mariota. Probably just a single stack with either Pitts or Drake London, but I don't know. I might do one of each singles. One single with. I'm only doing 6 teams though, so at some point, like it's hard to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do 2 Mariota teams when like we have the studs on the slate. Yeah, that was good value. I almost took him in the second, but like Devontae Adams was still there, and in these drafts, this week he's kind of a tier break. I mean, obviously, we just saw what Tyreek and Amon-Ra can do, but just kind of the top talent. I mean, I don't know. All of these guys are. That's a bad way of stating it, but to me, like getting Devontae, I would have rather got him and Kelsey together and pushed Mahomes because the matchup against the Titans is what I mean. Like, obviously, the talent. I know, yeah, I'm kind of 3700. I'm kind of new to like winning too, so I don't know how fantasy sports taxes work. So I'm kind of just chilling. I have withdrawn a couple times though this year, not to brag. Thanks, Davis. Thanks for hanging out and talking. I'll probably be here at least another 30 minutes, an hour. I don't know. I'm having fun. Not too much else to do today or tonight left to do. It's 10 o'clock. I'd be ripping these drafts anyway. You bought 2 houses. I definitely didn't buy 2 houses. Chase Kelsey. Gonna try and push my homes again like I did in that last draft. Just see. I mean, obviously, you know, people in this draft know that's who I'm going for. We'll see if he comes back around. But I kind of like pushing quarterback in these for the most part. Let's see. Let's pause in this one. Seems. Oh my gosh, that start. CMC Cup AJ Brown. That's nice. I think I did one earlier where I got like 3 of the elite guys. Why not push for Hurts over Mahomes? I mean, it's because I do have Kelsey. I mean, just straight up. And he comes back around 5 picks after. That's true. But Kelsey, though. No, I mean, I just try and stack every team I do. Obviously, I could, I didn't get the opportunity to get Hurts because Eric got him. But I could have taken Hurts and then set up Devonta Smith late, but a bit weak. Yeah, I mean, and see, but I'm not gonna like guarantee to double stack him, but I haven't done Waddle a lot. I think that the Dolphins are gonna come back down to earth a little bit this week. Don't love that. I keep wondering if we're gonna ever get a good Dalvin Cook game. I just think tight end can really separate teams so much in these drafts specifically. And like I said, we've seen it the first 2 weeks of these that, like week 1, the top like 100 teams were all Kelsey teams. And then this last week, well, I mean, obviously it was Andrews because of the Miami stuff. So people who had Andrews correlated it with Miami. But I don't know. I just think tight end these can be just so important. I mean, like it can on any slate, like on DraftKings too, because it's such a weak position that if you get the guy that goes for 20, 25 points, and it's just a lot more likely that it's going to be Kelsey and Andrews, Waller, I would say Pitts, but we know that that's... All right, see you, Davis. Yeah, I'll be hanging out here for a little bit more. So Waddle came all the way back around to me after I just said I wasn't going to pick him that much. But, at this point, I am going to pick him. I think I'm going to go down the board, depending on who this person picks for my last pick. Well, we know we know they're taking the tight end. So I'm gonna take Gabe. Hopefully he gets back. We'll see. No real update on him yet. I don't guess, but we know it. I mean, we saw what Gabe Davis can do in the playoffs. What he can do. So hopefully he gets back and gets healthy. Obviously got the mini with Waddle. Let me look at my sheet and see what I need to do more of. Eric, if you're still watching, what did you end up doing that draft? I didn't look. That was my bad. 1-2, picking side by side with Eric here. Definitely happy with either of the top two. Both of them in absolute smash spots. We'll see what we can get set up once we figure out which one that we're getting. I see how many of these I've actually done. Also, I wonder like how long it's going to take this thing to fill with 564. I wish Underdog would keep doing more single entry stuff like that. I'm a big fan of the single entry for a little bit higher entry fee because I don't know. I don't want to I saw some that were like 67 entry max. Yeah, I definitely take 2 RB on these for sure. I haven't done it as much. I just noticed that too. I haven't done it as much since I started streaming, but yeah. I definitely, it's a half point PPR site, but yeah, the running backs have been not doing as well. But yeah, I haven't been intentionally not doing 2 RBs. It's really just how the draft goes and how the build goes. One of my people I love this week, obviously, you can go all the way down and still get Leonard Fournette. Obviously, Green Bay's got a good defense, but I mean, he's got 21 and 24 attempts in the first 2 games. I mean, that's unreal volume. And he's kind of like the last RB of the, I don't know why you want to classify the tier, but the workhorses, I guess. I mean, some of these other guys are too, but in good offenses at least. But yeah, I've been taking earlier today when I was doing a lot of these, I was taking a good bit of Lenny as my RB2 or RB1 in these. It just happened to work out tonight where I've taken mostly 3 wide receiver, but it's definitely not something that I'm intentionally doing by any means. Okay. We got our mini set up. Yeah, I love Fournette. Mike Evans misses. The only problem with him could be if Mike Evans does miss, he's gonna get the volume regardless. Wow. Start with the 3 elite. There's some there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take AJB against Washington. Yeah, I just realized I just did 3 wide receiver again. I was planning to do Swift with Jefferson, but then Amon-Ra was still there, so did that instead. There's something in these two, since it's 56,000 people, I sometimes think about the double stack or the bring back. Obviously, we just saw last week that having both Miami wide receivers is what you needed. But I wonder over a bigger sample if, like, to reach the absolute ceiling team and ceiling lineup, if a single stack is better. Is better than doubling, just because you kind of need to hit the nuts. And because you can in these drafts, since you're getting, unlike DFS, you're adding in cheap guys, price matters. I mean, these you're jamming studs at pretty much every position. So, like, the odds are you're just gonna need the nuts, and so obviously both can win, the doubles and singles. But I just have a feeling over a long stretch that single stacks will be better, but the data might completely go against that, and that's just a wrong feeling I have. I haven't clicked Aaron Jones yet. He's someone I'm probably not going to click a lot in these. Tampa's got a really good defense. The snap share, the targets is pretty much identical for him and Aaron Jones. I mean, him and Dylan. Take Waller. Make sure you get the elite tight end. So, my money where my mouth is on this team. And take Lenny as my RB. Oh, y'all did a lot have QB, running back, wide receiver from the same team? I've seen that too. One of the couple of the articles I was reading last week, because I almost did like a Tua, Mostert, Tyreek team. Just because I have seen that too, like capturing, or JM to win on Pete Overzet's channel, or they did their weekly video, and he was talking about doing a Ram stack where you play Stafford and you play Henderson in the same lineup, and then either, in some cases, you don't also play Robinson or like Higbee, or you could, but basically you don't play Cup. So you're making a bet that, yes, the Rams smash, but maybe Cup still has a good week, but he doesn't go for 40, which he still went for 35, so he did smash. But it was just more of like talking about the game theory, which I really loved. That maybe, Cup has a good game. Russ Penny Metcalf last week, 17. But their theory, or his theory, was like, you get the Rams offense, but maybe Cup only gets like 24 points, instead of 40. And still has a good game, but he doesn't pay off, 9,900. This is also a spot I don't know, like, someone like Kyler just has so much more upside than Kirk Cousins. Yeah, but I'm probably just going to go ahead and do Kirk. It's against Detroit. He can have a good game. But sometimes, like in this scenario, I'll just take Kyler naked because his upside is just so much higher. So I try and weigh that. It's like, do I really... I mean, obviously stacking is good, of course. But in this scenario, I sometimes think just taking like naked Kyler, who could score 40, versus Kirk, who could have a good game. Like Jefferson could go off, but Kirk could score 24. So it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, that logic, it was something that made me just, think like I haven't thought before. Like I never would imagine playing, because the lineup he was really talking about was playing like just Stafford and Henderson as a bet against Cup crushing, but also a bet on the Rams, scoring a lot, but just, I don't know. I really like I really like that show because I don't know, it just gets you to think deeper and think differently about the slates. And which is it's what I love about DFS and best ball and these drafts is just the game theory aspect of it. Is that's what draws me into doing these drafts and all this stuff is just trying to solve it, which is it's unsolvable. I mean, it's not unsolvable, but you know what I mean. You can never be perfect with it. But yeah, like playing the running back, pass catcher, quarterback. Yeah, exactly. 4 touchdown passes, 4 different receivers. Henderson catches one. Yeah, maybe they score 35 points. Henderson catches one and rushes one in. Cup catches one and has 80 yards and 5 catches. Has a good game, but he doesn't pay off 9,900 DraftKings salary. So yeah, it was really interesting show. Interesting show last week. Talking about the theory of it. And I actually did end up running that one of those teams. I didn't run obviously the team they built, but I built my own team where I did play Stafford Henderson and Allen Robinson as a bet against Cup, but that team didn't do too good. But not really because of those pieces, because the other pieces around it. I think this week on DraftKings is going to be interesting because there's so many expensive stacks. Because we have all the elite quarterbacks on the slate. We got a lot of the elite wide receivers. I know I haven't done this yet. For Chase Amon-Ra. It's really tough clicking Amon-Ra St. Brown over Devontae Adams and Tyreek, but he's just done it. And I know I've drafted 3 Chase Devontae Adams teams just tonight. I honestly haven't thought about Algier and DK at 4.4. It sounds interesting because I liked him in best ball. I like Damian Pierce at 5K for sure. I think the stat I listened to earlier, I think it was on a podcast. Someone said, the Bears have given up the most rushing yards through 2 weeks, which makes sense. That first week, the teams weren't passing a lot and all that rain, but Damian Pierce at 5K as a GPP play. I kind of like it because I like kind of going down at running back. So I definitely think he's someone I'm interested in. Algier, I mean, I might be. I have to look. To be honest, I don't know what his workload was this past week. I know he was active and played a little bit, but I mean, yeah, it's against the Seahawks, so I mean, it could be a play. I'll have to see kind of how he projects and all that, but I don't know, if that's definitely going to be a play I go to. But yeah, if Algier projects good, I know I'm playing Falcons this week against Seattle. Yeah, that's what I assumed Pierce was going to be super owned, but I wasn't sure yet. Yeah, if he's super owned, then yeah, I'm not playing him in tournaments. It's kind of crazy, like, how DFS works and how that thing. I just sat here, for a couple minutes and talked about how I thought Damian Pierce was a great play at 5K and all this. But then if you tell me he's 25% owned, then yeah, I'm not playing him. After just talking about how good of a play he was for 5 minutes. Oh, he had 10 rushes this past week? Yeah. Yeah, Atlanta's been frisky. I mean, they easily, or not easily, this last week, they kind of, obviously were lucky to come back in that game. What's funny, too, is in this one I won, I honestly thought I was, pretty in the clear. And then all of a sudden, this person comes up because Falcons get the defensive touchdown. And then they get the fumble and the safety, like all in the last 5 minutes of the game. When I was like 15 points ahead, like, I don't know, was just coasting. And all of a sudden, someone comes charging up the board with Falcons D. And I was like, are you kidding me? Wow, he had 10 rushes. Yeah, I mean, if he's 4.4K and had 10 rushes, that's definitely intriguing. If, maybe we get some word that he's going to, take on a bigger role this week. We'll see. It's something I hadn't considered. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, I honestly didn't know how much he played, so that's interesting. Well, I've just been like mindlessly clicking, and I didn't realize I went Mixon Chase. But this could be one of those teams where, like we just talked about with the. I don't want to onslaught it. Oh, I have to take a tight end. Yeah. Well, we're going Pitts because I can't quit Pitts. Oh yeah, I didn't have the Falcons. That wasn't actually my team. They were chasing me up the board. This was not my team. My team, I actually did win. I just had Saints D, but I thought I was like just home free because I was so clear of everyone. And then here comes this charging team with the Falcons D late. But yeah, thank you though. All right, we got the Burrow. We got the Burrow with the running back. I mean, the Bengals could smash, even though they've looked rough to say the least the first 2 weeks. But they can all easily get there in the same game. I think I'm going to do one more draft on this stream tonight. Join if you want to. That's all. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I kind of felt like I had it. Yeah, I felt like I had it won from like halftime of the late games. It was kind of apparent, like no one was just going off and going to be like an awesome stack or awesome play late. And so I felt like I had it, and there were a couple people around me, but I had like one of them blocked here, with here or there. Yeah, Mixon could be good with Burrow for sure. Yeah, he caught a bunch of passes week 1, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, he got 7 balls week 1. Yeah, I think he's a good play. I wonder if he's going to be part of the cash discussion. He's 7,600, I think. When I was looking earlier against the Jets, I think he's a pretty good play. I wonder if we're going to get Rondell Moore this week. Oh, thank you. Yeah. The golf stuff was fun. Which we already got it back this week with the lot smaller tournaments, but yeah, the golf I did pretty good in the golf stuff. I know, dude. I love Joe Burrow, and it's tough to see. I thought they finally had gotten their O-line fixed. Yeah, it is a great matchup. And too, like that lineup with Chase Mixon and Burrow. I mean, the Jets could push them. The Jets have played pretty good on offense. Is Dortch just a better? I don't think so. I mean, it's tough to say. Like, Oh yeah, what I didn't finish my Rondell Moore, but he's 3,600. If he comes back, he's in my home league. Commission never won it yet. Is that like a dynasty league? You have those guys all together, or is it redraft? Never won it yet. Dortch could be, but I mean, it's tough to say. Like we just haven't seen Rondell this year. I hesitate to say that Dortch is better, but if we get it's all about what we get, report wise, and how practice is going. If Rondell's back, taking all the first team reps and all that, then we'll know. And because he's 3,600, so he's probably going to be in cash this week if we get that word. But I don't know. Yeah. I'm wondering too if it's gonna be one of those things where Garrett Wilson becomes popular this week, and then we could get low on Elijah Moore in tournaments. That would be something I would be all for. Yeah, we're gonna do Tyreek to Diggs mini correlation here. One in Dynasty. I've never gotten into a good Dynasty league. I would love to get into one with people I actually know, and I think it could be a fun thing to do. It's just sadly I've lost. I'm in a couple redraft leagues with my friends, and they're pretty fun, but I don't know. I think because I've been playing so much, more Underdog and DraftKings, where, going on the waiver wire now, I just don't enjoy doing as much and all that. I tried to, in one of my home leagues, though, I did try doing a 0 RB team this year. I think I pushed it a little bit too far for for our home league. I'm 1-1 though. I won this week, luckily. Yeah, so yeah, that's something I was playing around with. With the yeah, it's gonna be tough to do. Tough to do Buffalo Miami on DraftKings, which is probably gonna make it lower owned. But we'll see. Our best ball teams look pretty good. It's just tough to tell. It's week 2. I don't have any crazy advance rate or anything. Pretty standard, 20%, 25%. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I'm in the 2 home leagues. One with my college friends and one with my friends from home. And yeah, grind. Setting the lineups and the waivers. I just don't enjoy that stuff as much anymore. I wish I did because I think it could still be really fun. But yeah, I just really enjoy playing the weekly stuff on DraftKings where you can, and it's kind of fun too because you get to play all the different players. You're looking at Algier to fit Buffalo, Miami. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. Let me go over here and see. What's I mean, maybe if Gabe Knox is 4,100, I don't know. You might could do something with Knox with an Allen Diggs. I don't know. It's gonna be tough because yeah, I tried building that already. It's not gonna be easy. I'm just gonna do Waller on this one. I don't have any of my. I like the Stone Men defense on DraftKings. Isn't it the Lions? I know that they're not good, but we just saw Kirk Cousins throw 3 picks. And now if they get really owned, then obviously I'm not going to play them. But in shootout games, yes, Minnesota's probably going to score a good amount of points. But, a better chance of turnovers if they're passing a lot, which is what we want. Chance of a pick 6. I'm not saying they're, a great play, but I think it's something interesting if people think that game's going to shoot out. And the Lions defense is just so bad. So I don't know. That might be too thin of shootout, pick 6. We'll see. Yeah, I've noticed that last week there was no 2K defense either. So on this team, since I could stack it with Carr, I don't know. I want to just pick Kyler because of the rushing upside and if any of these quarterbacks, I am just going to do it. This is a completely uncorrelated lineup, which is not something I usually build. But it's just, I don't know. Carr could have a big game. I probably should just pick Carr. But Kyler just has such a higher ceiling with the rushing that it's hard for me when he's still sitting there. I mean, Herbert didn't even go this one. Let's take a look at DraftKings before I end the stream. Defenses. I mean, I love the Ravens at 3K. For sure. Yeah, Hutchinson, what did he have? 3 sacks last week? I love the Ravens at 3K. I'm a Patriots fan, but they should have a good day pass rushing. Obviously, they just gave up 1,000,000 yards, but we don't have any receivers, obviously, close to the stratosphere the Dolphins have. I think they're a pretty good play. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of good defenses as you go up the board. But it's tough this week. There's no, standout, mispriced $2,200 defense this week. So it might be a week where you just kind of either pay up or just play what fits. I mean, maybe the Jets versus Cincy. I mean, Burrow's already been sacked 1,000,000 times. Maybe you get a strip fumble touchdown. I think the Jets are playable for sure. But really, I want to take Murray unstacked. Yeah, that's the thing. I get that way in some of these drafts where I'm like, I could take them. Texans maybe, yeah. Texans I love. I mean, against the Bears for sure. I don't know how much Justin Fields is going to turn it over if he's passing 11 times a game, but he definitely can still turn it over. Yeah, 10-9 final. I mean, Carolina against New Orleans is probably a decent play. But yeah, I don't really see right off the bat this is the chalk defense this week. It doesn't really stand out to me right away. Man, Dolphins defense is probably an ultimate. Obviously, they're a bad play. Buffalo is amazing. But the Dolphins have decent defense and decent players. If you're just trying to completely leverage off of that game that is going to be popular stacking wise, and you just play Dolphins D. Trevor Lawrence a lot. My best ball shares hope that Trevor Lawrence keeps it up for sure. The Bears at second highest, most expensive defense. I would not be playing that. I know this is staring us all in the face. The 4,800 pits, I already know I'm playing it. I can't help myself. I will continue to lose money on Kyle Pitts. Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen, he's amazing, but he could still turn it over. I mean, you never know. Defense is so hard anyway that, saying that, oh, no, you just can't play the Dolphins D, I don't believe that. Yeah, I like Mariota down here. Trevor against the Chargers. That could be interesting too. It's just so hard when you've got the studs on the slate. Because odds are the optimal team is going to come. Oh, yeah. If Herbert misses, then that's going to be the chalk D, though. I think, yeah. So that'll be the cash game defense if Herbert misses for sure. You're quitting Kyle Pitts. I can't do it. Are you quitting him just because, like, you just don't think he's going to get involved? Or why? I'm interested on this one. Just the involvement in the offense? I don't think many of us came in and saw or thought Drake London would come in and just completely alpha Kyle Pitts in that offense, but is what's happened. Yeah, no, if Kyle Pitts comes in super highly rostered, then I probably won't play him, but not earning targets this year. Yeah, I'm confused. Like, my thing is though, and I think like Silva put it really like made sense on the ETR's NFC podcast today. Like, you don't have 1,000-yard season in the NFL as a rookie tight end as a 20-year-old though, because you're bad. Like, I don't know if it's Mariota just not seeing him or what. Or maybe he's not getting open. You know, I haven't broke down the all 22 or anything, but I don't think you don't have a rookie season like that. But I think Smith's bad coach, so it may not be Pitt's fault. Yeah, I think Arthur Smith is not good. Not good at all. I just we know the talent and the physicality that Pitts possesses. Like, if any tight end's gonna catch a 80-yard touchdown, it's gonna be him. But yeah, I just think Silva put it so well on the pod today. Like, you don't do what Kyle Pitts did last year as tight ends as rookies never do anything, and he had 1,000 yards as a 20-year-old. Like, that's not a fluke. So I think it's an offense thing. And more so, maybe it's Mariota just doesn't look his way as much. I mean, Drake London is good, and he's come in and he's earned the targets, and he's a good player, so maybe that's part of it. Yeah. I know Arthur Smith loves to run the ball. That could be a reason. We know Stephon Diggs at 7,700. That's a cash game play. I think Juju at 5,500. That's a cash game play. Ryan was washed up. Wow. Yeah, that is crazy. What you said there with the passes versus rushes. And then Rondell Moore at 3,600 if he gets ruled in. Yeah, 4th overall pick. Not to simply block. Yeah. I think he'll be someone that, I don't know. I'm just going to keep playing him. I keep losing money, but AJ Brown not getting bumped. I think Devontae Smith was cheap. Yeah, the 5,200 Devontae Smith this week. Like, that looks prime. Obviously, he was on Monday night, so he didn't get the Monday night, or he got the Monday night discount. I mean, that looks like an awesome play. I just, it all depends on ownership at this point. We don't really know what the projections are looking like, but obviously looks great. Maybe that's a cash game play. Diggs over Amon-Ra. I mean, yeah. Look, Amon-Ra, I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I have a lot of him in best ball and all that. But what Diggs has done through 2 weeks, insane. And so, I think it's Diggs, personally, but Smith is due. Yeah. I think it'll be Diggs, but Amon-Ra versus Minnesota is a great play too. AJ Brown's this range is really good, which makes me think it's going to be really high owned, and not many people are going to get all the way up for Kupp or Jefferson. So they might come in a little lower than these guys. But yeah, I just think like if Stephon Diggs wasn't on Monday night, yeah, if Gabe is out, you're playing Diggs in cash for sure. But if Diggs, if he wasn't on Monday night, then he's 9K this week for sure. For sure. So, this might be the last chance to play him at this discount based off what he's done. But yeah, no, I mean, I played Amon-Ra in cash. Like, he's the reason I made any money in cash last week was because I played Amon-Ra. If there's anyone. What do y'all think about Marquise Brown? I've played him the first 2 weeks. I haven't loved what I've seen, but he's still like just their main guy. I mean, he's getting targets. He's getting the targets. He just hasn't gone off yet. I don't know whether he's due, but they're playing the Rams, which, I would worry about. I don't know. He's someone. Value on Diggs? Yeah, that's the thing. He didn't get bumped up. Like, what is Gabe's price this week? 63. Yeah, I hope he plays. Jefferson's only. Yeah, I mean, the same thing. Like, probably AJ Brown. You don't like Marquise Brown as a player? I don't really like Marquise Brown as a player either. Like, AJ Brown probably would be 8,300 instead of 73. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Marquise Brown he could catch 2 75-yard touchdowns in the same game. Like, that's in his range of outcomes. Is it likely to happen? Absolutely not. But he's getting the targets. Dropsies, but he could get garbage time points. Yeah. Yeah, and he's lower owned every week. And so I keep going back to him at least in one lineup because of that. Trying to see if there's any other prices that just stand out here. But yeah, the Devontae at 5,200. I don't know. Like, that's just so cheap. I mean, he's $100 more than Curtis Samuel, who's played good. Don't get me wrong. Traylon Burks creeping up. I've liked what I've seen from him. Is that offense is just horrible. MVS, that looks intriguing. 4,700. I mean, again, it's a tournament play, obviously, but again, he's another one like Marquise Brown, who could catch 2 70-yard touchdowns in a game. Chris Olave, that seems good. Doing like an Olave CMC mini, maybe. Because we know he's getting the air yards. That's everywhere on fantasy sports Twitter with the 360 air yards last week. It's gonna happen at some point. He's gonna catch a bomb. Smith Samuels. Yeah, you might get to do something like Smith Samuels that helps you get to some of the more expensive stuff, but what about tight end this week? 7,900 Kelsey is gonna be tough to play, but probably gonna be lower owned for sure. Andrews, Waller's still good price. Pitts, Goddard's probably really good. Man, you might can do a lot with a Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert stack. Bring it back with Curtis Samuel, and you still have a lot of money to play with. But also, a lot of people are probably doing that because you have a lot of money to play with. It'll probably should play McLaurin instead of Samuel. But we'll see. Gerald Everett might be the cash game tight end. I don't know. Playing the mid-range. I think Hurts is the safest QB for sure. Especially at his price. Like, I think Hurts is going to be the cash game quarterback, probably. Irv at 3.1. Yeah, like a hurt. I mean, let's see what you can do. You're still gonna have so much money. Alright, let's just plug in a defense. Who do we say? Let's say Justin Herbert's out, so you're playing the Jags. You got 6,200 left. Everett did have tons of targets. He's going to be popular this week, though, if Herbert plays. Yeah, I mean, you got $6,200 a player left playing this stack, which makes me think that this is going to be pretty popular, but we'll see once projections start coming out. Especially if you paid down for... Man, you literally could play whoever you want. Or, what's the thing? If you did that, I mean, like, you have just so much money. Getting Jam CMC. This might start to be a little too thin, protection-wise. Play a one-off Waddle. Mike Will, Fournette, like... Yeah, I could fit Cup. I went with McCaffrey on this one with Olave, because I knew he kind of liked that. I mean, if you wanted to play the one-off Waddle. Diggs and Hill. Yeah, let's try to do that instead of doing CMC. And see how, like, what else we can get in there. Tyreek Hill. 4,900. Gonna have to play a cheap wide receiver in this as well, probably. How cheap can we go at running back, though? And 5,400, that's going to be someone I play this week if he's low-owned for sure. Versus the Tennessee defense. Obviously, the passing game should smash. But if Adams and Waller get tons of ownership, this is the exact same play I made last week. I'm 5,400. He went down 500. I know he only scored 9 points, so that makes sense, but... Yeah. Oh, and then someone fits. There's a lot of it. I mean, that at least gets you exposure. I have just liked doing the running back stuff like this, though. Where you take... How much is Pittman this week? He's still 69. Yeah, that's pretty expensive. But I like to think, too, like, when I just said that, like, my initial reaction looking at Pittman was, oh, that's pretty expensive. Like, that kind of tells me he's probably going to be low on. If that's the initial reaction. But then if people are stacking the Chiefs, then he's the pretty obvious bring back. Because how much is JT? 9K? I don't know. We'll see. There's still a lot to develop and injuries to come out. I'm wondering about Amon-Ra this week. I mean, he's got to be popular, right? Even though he's gone up to 7,200. Yeah, he still will be. That's still not that much. But yeah, the Eagles stuff Devonta Smith 52. Let's try and build the cash line up. What do we think it's going to be? You think, is Fournette going to be in there because of the volume? At 6,500. I know it's against Green Bay, but he's getting the volume. Let's assume Rondell is active. I don't know. Do we even need to go that thin, or could we do... Juju. We said we're playing Diggs, right? Diggs and cash. Is that the cash game team? I mean, obviously you don't have to play... Well, you would have to play the Lions defense in this one, but... You could refine it. I mean, that looks like a pretty high floor team right there. It feels like something in this... Some combination of these players... Probably going to be the cash. You might get him. You could play. I don't know if you can play Gibson. I'm not gonna say that in cash. Yeah, his ankle. I just kind of plugged him in there because he's a running back that fit. But I mean, you could do a 4 wide receiver week. Oh man, look at that team for cash. Yeah, I just clicked the running back. I didn't even look at the other options. But this might be a 4 wide receiver in cash week. With that, yeah. I mean, that looks like a really high floor team. 5,500 Juju. That was pretty good. Just for fun, what could you go up to at 77? So, I mean, you could. You have a Ryan. Yeah, it's a great. I mean, he's just a good play. We could do something with, like, you could do a Monra. Mixon if you wanted to definitely play 3 RBs in cash. It kind of just depends. I don't have any, like, hard and fast rule. Like, I've got to play. I prefer 3 running backs in cash for sure. But, yeah, I don't know. It's probably you just play Diggs and I don't know. I wonder if we can get both of them. Let's say you come off Devontae. And Juju. Could you play? We play Diggs. Diggs Amon-Ra. I don't know. I'm just trying stuff now. I was wondering if that would get you up. Man, Chris Olave is a tough cash play for me. I'm not sure I would go there in cash. I just don't know if he's looking for that consistent volume. I mean, he's getting the cash. He's gonna have a smash week. I just don't know if I could. I mean, it's against Carolina. He's probably gonna have a good week. I don't know if he's a cash play. Maybe he is. Maybe I'm just not thinking right. AST Diggs. No, something like this. You could even go down. Where's the guy? I played this guy in cash last week. Oh, we're still one short of getting Mixon. Could get Swift at that point, but I kind of wanted to get Mixon. We'll see. A goose egg week 1? Yeah, I think we're gonna look back and that's gonna be an aberration. But no, you're right. If I'm saying play Devontae in cash, when I just think it's more so a thing to do with like the price discount on him after the good game he just had against against Washington. I don't know. The Olave stuff might not be bad. I guess I just have this like vision in my head that he was only just running down the field getting those air yards and not actually making any catches. I honestly didn't realize he had 5 catches for 80 with all those air yards. I mean, that's good. I mean, 9 and 12 is, we'll take that in cash. You'd prefer like 15, but yeah, I mean, if he pays off a couple of these bombs finally, then that could be good. I don't know if it's going to be an expensive running back in cash week or not. I'm thinking no. I'm always intrigued with McCaffrey, but I almost played McCaffrey last week in cash. Yeah, that's the thing. 5-2 and that off. Yeah. It's up. It just feels like Devontae is going to be like a 6K to $6,500 player. I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, that might be too high for him, but he's definitely not going to be 5-2 for long. And Olave might not be 4-5. I mean, if he goes off this week and catches 2 of those deep bombs, he'll be mid 5s to maybe 6K next week. But I think I'm going to end it here, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate y'all doing that. I'm probably going to do one more stream this week where I do a few more Battle Royale drafts, and then hopefully we'll have more, not hopefully, we will have more information on the slate. I'm probably going to do the stream, I'm thinking Saturday night, and kind of go ahead and have the builds I think I want in tournaments started. You know, obviously I like to do everything Sunday morning, but we'll look a lot deeper into it and really think like, okay, these are the plays we want to make. These are the games we're stacking. And then rip a few more of these. Like I said, I did 50 of them last week. I'll probably at least get to that this week. Maybe I'll do a little more. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it.